Welcome into A Toast of Film. I'm your host, Evo, and this week we got a little bit of music happening because last night I went to the early showing for Hurry Up Tomorrow, the Weekend movie, not to be confused with the Weekend album. We'll get into that. But also, my friends over at Strike Media sent me a screener for Juliet and Romeo, not Romeo and Juliet. And so we'll be discussing that too. So buckle up. It's going to be nice, short and sweet, just like me, easy breezy cover girl. So I was feeling the vibes of like music and stuff. I always thought about the commercials. Oh, Fanta. I just got a nice little Fanta orange this week. I love a good Fanta. Fanta, Sunkiss. I think Sunkiss has more pop, but there's nothing wrong with a good old Fanta. So let's get into this, starting with the movie I saw last night at the fan event. That is Hurry Up Tomorrow. So earlier this year, The Weeknd had an album come out, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is a companion piece to this movie. You could enjoy them both together. And this is from Trey Edward Schultz. And I should have known I was not going to enjoy this movie because of the director. Because he made a piece of crap known as It Comes at Night, where it has such a great trailer. And then you watch It Comes at Night and nothing happens. And you just feel like you wasted your time. That's similar to how I feel watching this. But in this movie, we have The Weeknd. He's playing a version of himself. We have Jenna Ortega playing Anima, and Barry Keoghan is playing Lee, The Weeknd's manager, his boy that he grew up with. And I think this movie is style over substance. I think it's very pretentious. And the thing is, I like The Weeknd's music, and I think all of our three leads do a good job. My issue comes to where I always say there's a difference between a movie and a film. And I think this is an example of a film where let me show you these camera angles. I know. Oh, let me show you these light, filtrations. I know. It's an exhibition piece instead of just trying to make something people can watch and enjoy. Like I said, The Weeknd, he plays a different version of himself, and he's going through struggles. He can't really sing. He's not over a recent breakup. Barry Keoghan, he's his manager, so he just wants him to keep going out there so it get his paycheck. And Jenna Ortega, she's an obsessed Weeknd fan, and it all takes place over couple of days of craziness because Jenna Ortega and The Weeknd, they go to a room together, some things happen, and then it turns into something they may not be able to come back from. I do think the cinematography is good in this, even though that's one of the things I am harping on it about. I do think the acting's good. I think maybe the script's good. It gets to a point where it's like, oh, let me tell you, how revolutionary The Weeknd's ideas are. It's like, okay, we get it. Like, you like The Weeknd's music. Fair. Good, very good music. But I just don't feel, maybe if you're like an uber The Weeknd fan, maybe this will be your cup of tea. But for me, as just a normal Weeknd fan and somebody who was looking for a true movie, not an ad for his new album, which these are supposed to play together, and this was kind of like, I don't know, it wasn't a movie. It was too long. Also, I think it could have been an hour 20, hour and a half max, and it would have been good, maybe, because then like the fat, there's a lot of fat in the movie. But overall, I gotta give it like, it's so tough to rate. because I want for the good acting. I do want to give it props, but at the same time, it's just not a good movie. It's not enjoyable. I'm going to give it a 1.3 out of 5 cheers. I just do not enjoy the movie. And maybe you'll see it and you'll say I'm full of crap, but we'll see on that. Now, next one is another interesting one. Like I said, this was Emma over at Strike Media. She sent me a screener of Juliet and Romeo. So this is from writer director Timothy Scott Bogart, and he was the writer director of Spinning Gold, which he did about his father, Neil Bogart, who was the founder of Casablanca Records. And this, it's based on the real story that inspired William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, set as an original pop musical. There you go. That probably just tuned a lot of people out. So I do think this movie has some things going for it. I think trying to get a younger generation into Shakespeare, when I don't think that would be a lot cup of their teas, nowadays, I think that's good. I also think by giving us a decent cast, Jason Isaacs from, The Patriot, of course, Lucius Malfoy and Harry Potter. He is Romeo's dad. And then we got old Rebel Wilson, unfortunately. She plays Juliet's mom. We got Nicholas Podani as Mercutio. He was recently Billy Crystal in Saturday Night. We got, oh my God, what is his name? I just had a complete blank on it. Oh God. Dan Fogler. Sorry about that, y'all. Dan Fogler is, in it. And we got Jamie Ward as Romeo and old Clara Rugard as Juliet. She was from I Am Mother, the Netflix movie, which I actually thought was really good. So this movie, here's a couple of things you need to know. One, it is very tailored to a younger generation. The songs, the pop and circumstance, geared much younger. Two, this is definitely, it's Romeo and Juliet, but it's also not Romeo and Juliet. There's definitely some things they change. They took some liberties, especially the ending, not saying anything, but the ending I personally was not a fan of. I think everything's fine in this movie. I think the singing is good. I think the numbers are cute. I will say the only one I really liked, there was a song that was a brothel, and their song was Just Because I Love You Tonight Doesn't Mean I'll Love You Tomorrow. I thought that banger of a song. I re-listened to that one, I'm not gonna lie. But our two leads, they had decent enough chemistry. I think the movie's, like I said, it's cute. It's just the only way I can describe it. It's nice. It's nothing that's gonna be, oh my God, did you see that? But it's nothing you're gonna probably be like, oh my God, I can't believe I hate that movie. I never want to hear of this movie again. It's not, nothing will ever be Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet. That movie, chef's kiss. I mean, this shirt would fit right in that movie, this cool little Hawaiian shirt, because that movie, 5 stars. This movie, though, I do think it could have been a lot better. I do think it could have been written and acted in some cases a little better, but I think the movie is enjoyable enough where if you like musicals or if you're a Romeo and Juliet fan, I think you need to check it out. So I'm going to give it, it's kind of a lower rating because I do have to take off some points for quality and the ending, but I'm going to give it a 2.8 out of 5 cheers, So we're right at round passing by Rotten Tomatoes standard. But if you want to let us know what you think about Hurry Up Tomorrow, maybe I'm wrong, or you want to let us know what you think about Juliet and Romeo, did you go to theaters? Check it out. You should. Then you can do that. And let me tell you the best ways. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok, A Toast to Film, all one word. Check us out on Twitter at film_toast. Or check us out on beautiful YouTube. You can see this cool shirt. you can see my nice little Fanta can. Well, whatever you do, just make sure to like, subscribe. I always say, leave some comments. I read all the comments personally. I respond personally. But we just wish you a good night and good viewing.